There is a mysterious force that resides within every human being, a power so ancient, so potent, that it has been revered, feared, suppressed, and misunderstood across the ages. This force is sexual energy, not merely the desire for physical pleasure, but the raw, unfiltered essence of creation itself. This is the same energy that brings life into existence. It's the spark behind every heartbeat, the rhythm in every breath, and the pulse of the universe moving through you. But what if I told you that this energy, when consciously directed, can do far more than satisfy momentary cravings? What if sexual energy is the sacred fuel for manifesting your deepest desires? Ancient mystics knew this truth. They understood that sexual energy is not meant to be squandered, but transmuted. They practiced disciplines, rituals, and meditations that allowed them to harness this fire, not for lust, but for enlightenment, for power, for transformation. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with distractions and messages that reduce sexuality to something shallow, something purely physical. We are taught to chase pleasure, to release and forget. But when we learn to contain this energy, to feel it, hold it, and rise above it, we tap into a secret reservoir of divine potential. Think about it. The moment of orgasm is the moment. Life can be created. That's not coincidence, that's cosmic intelligence, and yet, instead of cultivating this sacred force, many waste it, unaware that every drop carries the frequency of divine creation. But here's where the alchemy begins. When you resist the impulse to release and instead choose to elevate, to internalize, to transmute, that's when you open the gateway to a higher state of consciousness. You no longer see sex as an end, but as a beginning, a path to something far greater. This isn't about repression, it's about transformation, turning base desire into golden awareness, channeling the lower into the higher. It's the very essence of alchemy, turning lead into gold, darkness into light, body into spirit. The ancients weren't afraid of this power. They honored it. They guarded its secrets because they understood its potential. And now you are being called to remember, to awaken, to reclaim what has always been yours. Sexual alchemy is not a myth. It is the science of the soul. And when you learn to master this force, the universe begins to respond differently. Opportunities appear, synchronicities unfold, and the desires you once chased begin to chase you. You are not here to be a slave to your impulses. You are here to become a master of energy, to realize that your body is the temple, your desire is the fire, and your soul is the alchemist. Let the fire burn, but let it rise. Every ancient spiritual tradition knew this. Your sexual energy is your magnetic field. It's the aura that surrounds you, the invisible signal you send into the world. And when that energy is stored, purified and raised, it becomes a beacon. People feel it. Opportunities gravitate toward you. Your presence shifts rooms, not because of what you say, but because of what you carry. That's the secret no one told you. The reason some people seem to attract success, wealth, love, and influence isn't just luck or genetics. It's energy, controlled, cultivated, and concentrated energy. And at the core of that energy is the sexual force, the creative current pulsing through your root, waiting to be lifted. In the ancient East, this was known as Kundalini, the coiled serpent energy lying dormant at the base of the spine. In the West, alchemists saw it as the sacred fire, the philosopher's stone, the very element that could transform man into a divine being. And yet, most of us were never taught how to use this power. Instead, we were taught to release it unconsciously, to seek short-term highs, to numb ourselves with pleasure instead of awakening to purpose. But here's the truth. The more you spill your energy without intention, the more you drain your potential. Every time you give it away without consciousness, you weaken your magnetic field. You dull your creative edge. You slow down your manifestations. On the other hand, when you retain it, respect it, and redirect it, you become charged. You glow. You don't just desire, you attract. You don't chase, you receive. Life begins to mirror your inner frequency. This is not about abstinence. It's about alignment, not about fear of sex, but reverence for energy. Sexual energy, when honored, becomes spiritual currency. And the wealthiest individuals in the unseen realms are those who know how to spend it wisely. Transmutation isn't suppression, it's elevation. You learn to breathe your energy upward, to circulate it through your chakras, to let it fuel your voice, your vision, your art. You become a walking vortex of power, peace, and purpose. Imagine waking up every day feeling lit from within, not because someone gave you that light, but because you cultivated it. You protected it, you became it. This is what sexual alchemy offers, not a rejection of desire, but a resurrection of your divine self, the part of you that was never meant to be lost in the world, but to shape it. Remember, your energy is your signature. What are you writing into reality? Let's get something clear. Desire in itself isn't wrong. In fact, desire is divine. It's the spark of creation, the whisper of your higher self calling you to expand. The problem isn't desire. The problem is where we aim it, how we use it, and most of all, how we waste it. When your sexual energy is unconscious, it becomes chaotic. It pulls you in 100 directions, chasing illusions, addicted to external highs. But when you awaken to what that energy actually is, pure life force, you stop squandering it on shadows. You begin to recognize it as the key to inner transformation. Think of your soul as a crucible. Every desire that arises is like raw material, lead, if you will. Through presence, through discipline, through transmutation, that desire is refined. The raw lead of lust becomes the gold of divine love, clarity, and willpower. That's alchemy. Not magic tricks or fantasy rituals, but inner mastery. The process of turning your instinctual drives into spiritual fuel. And the more you do it, the more you activate latent powers within you. Intuition sharpens, confidence solidifies, your voice carries weight, and people feel your grounded presence. It's not about living in denial. You still feel desire, but now you direct it. You harness it like a laser. It fuels your creative projects, deepens your meditations, and gives your presence a mysterious depth. People sense something in you, something they can't quite name, but they're drawn to it. This is why spiritual leaders, warriors, artists, and sages throughout history practice forms of sexual discipline. Not because they were afraid of pleasure, but because they understood its cost when used carelessly, and its power when wielded wisely. The alchemist is not someone who runs from temptation, but someone who transforms it. Every urge becomes a signal, a message from the soul saying, there's energy here, where will you take it? And when you rise above the lower pulls, not by force, but by understanding, you begin to access a realm of creation that few ever taste. You become a conscious co-creator with the universe. Your thoughts align with action. Your vibration aligns with outcome. You don't just want, you will. This is the path of spiritual sovereignty, the reclamation of your sacred fire, the remembrance that the divine isn't somewhere far away. It's pulsing within you right now, waiting to rise. You've probably met someone who walks into a room and immediately draws attention without saying a word. It's not just confidence, it's not looks, it's energy. It's the field they carry, that sexual energy, refined, not leaked, directed, not wasted. When you retain and transmute your sexual energy, something extraordinary happens. Your vibration changes. People feel it before they hear it. You become magnetic, not because you're trying, but because you've reclaimed something most have lost. In today's world, most people are drained. They've traded their sacred energy for cheap dopamine hits, scrolling endlessly, chasing validation, numbing out with distractions. But when you stop leaking energy through compulsive habits, you become different, rare, potent. Your presence becomes a statement. Your silence speaks louder than noise. You no longer seek attention because attention comes to you. People can't explain it, but they feel drawn to your presence. Why? Because you've cultivated depth, and depth is irresistible in a shallow world. Sexual energy, when sublimated, gives birth to charisma. But not the loud, in-your-face kind, the quiet, grounding kind, the kind that makes people feel safe, seen, and inspired around you. You become a channel for something higher, a force that uplifts those you encounter. Think of the greatest artists, leaders, mystics. They all radiated a certain aura. That wasn't accidental. It was cultivated. Behind their magnetism was discipline. Behind their discipline, self-awareness. Behind that, sacred energy, refined, stored, and expressed with intention. You don't need to become a monk. This isn't about suppression. It's about integration. When you own your desire without being ruled by it, you walk differently. You speak with clarity. You look people in the eye without flinching. You're no longer chasing. You're anchored. The most attractive people in the world aren't those who try to impress. They're those who've embodied their power without needing validation. They've gone inward, faced their shadows, and returned with light. That light is what people feel when you walk into the room. And the secret is, it's available to you. But it requires a choice. Will you continue leaking your energy in unconscious patterns? Or will you rise and redirect it into your higher purpose? Because once you taste this kind of power, there's no going back. You won't trade it for momentary pleasure. You'll realize that what you carry within you is more valuable than anything the world can offer. This is magnetic presence. This is spiritual gravity, and it starts the moment you choose to master your own energy. This energy we're talking about, it's not just about attraction or charisma. It's the source of all creation. It's what forms galaxies and bodies, ideas and realities. When you align it with your intention, it becomes a force beyond imagination. Sexual energy is the raw fuel of manifestation. Every great invention, every sacred scripture, every revolutionary idea was born from the same inner fire. The ancients knew this. They guarded this knowledge because they understood what you do with this energy determines the direction of your soul. When you stop dissipating this power and begin to circulate it within, through breath, focus, and awareness, it rises. It moves upward, activating higher centers of consciousness. It awakens your intuition. It sharpens your vision. You begin to see beyond the veil. You start manifesting not just from the mind, but from being. You no longer beg the universe. You co-create with it. Your energy field becomes clear, strong, coherent. You send out a signal that says, I am ready to hold what I seek. Because manifestation isn't about wishing. It's about becoming the container that can hold the thing you desire. And nothing expands your container like refined sexual energy. But here's where it gets mystical. As this energy rises, you begin to sense a union beyond duality. Masculine and feminine within you dance. Logic and intuition merge. You no longer seek completion in another because you've found wholeness within. And ironically, it's from this state of inner union that sacred relationships are born, not codependent, not needy, but two complete beings, meeting in their fullness, exchanging energy, amplifying each other's light. This is divine union, not just sexual, but spiritual, not just physical, but alchemical. It's a relationship that transcends desire. It becomes devotion. And even if you walk alone on this path, you are never truly alone, because once you awaken this inner force, you're connected to the source itself. You carry the divine within. You are the temple. You are the flame. So where do you go from here? You choose mastery. You choose to stop wasting what is sacred. You choose to honor the energy that breathes life into all things. And with every choice, every breath, every act of self-respect, you reclaim your throne. This is the alchemy of sexual energy. This is the path of kings and queens, of mystics and warriors, of those who remembered who they truly are. The world doesn't need more people seeking power. It needs more people embodying it, and that starts with you. Drop a comment below, sharing your biggest insight or experience with sexual energy and manifestation. Let's ignite this conversation and raise our vibration together. The power to transform your life is already inside you. It's time to unleash it. Are you ready?